My name is Heather Wilson, and I'm the founder of Kennedy's Angel Gowns. I have the pleasure of speaking with Stacie today, and she's going to share her journey with her two twin girls, her adorable twin girls, and share her journey as well as some information about what she's done to honor them and just to keep their spirit alive. So thank you so much, Stacie, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're going to talk about your twin girls, and I'm actually going to have you start us off and tell us a little bit about what your experience was and how you honored them. And I can see behind you all of the ways you honor them. But yes, please share your story.
Yeah. All right. So I met my husband in 2015. We were engaged maybe a little less than a year, got married, and then suddenly we're expecting within like 3 months of getting married. So everything went really, really fast. We're both active duty Navy, and my husband was set to deploy in January. And so I was a little thrown off because I thought I'm having one baby, found out I'm actually having two fraternal girls. So I kind of went into shock mode, nothing I didn't think I could handle, but it was a little bit much. But to my unexpectations and much planning and what I thought I could, do and whatnot, I went into premature labor 2 days after I dropped my husband off for deployment. And I was not expecting to see him until April. So this was like January 24th. And I actually gave birth that morning. I guess it would have been the 23rd. I gave birth the 24th that morning to Sophia Rose and Jocelyn Solis. And Sophia Rose lived for about 6.5 hours. And then Jocelyn lived till the 26th. And it was just a very it's very shocked to it all happened so fast. Fast, because when I went into premature labor, I just thought, I'd just been at the doctor on Friday. I dropped my husband off on Saturday, and this was Monday. And so the doctor had told me that I was at 23 weeks. There wasn't a lot of room in there because there was 2 of everything. And I'm a small person. Yeah. I'm only 5'3". So I thought they were on my bladder. And so whenever I had my pre-labor, or, the labor started, I didn't think that's what it was. I thought that they were on my bladder. So I didn't hurry to the hospital. Mm-hmm. I actually ate something because I was hungry, walked around my house. Then I drove myself to the hospital. And then that's when they told me that I was in labor and they were going to try to stop it. And all their efforts, they just weren't able to. And so that would be the day that my life changed. Well, I had a friend out of nowhere that happened to drop by my house that wasn't even supposed to be in town. And it happened when she was here. And she doesn't have any children. She still doesn't. So she's never been in labor. So I hadn't either. So I think that's why we really didn't put it together, what was happening until we both got in the car and we were driving there. And then we realized this is much more than that. So
did you happen to have a cuddle cot in the room when you delivered your girls?
So they didn't have that. And I had never heard of that. They did not have that. I had never heard of that. I didn't hear about that until after I came home months later, and I had been on Kennedy Angel Gowns website, and I had started getting involved with wedding dresses and all the facets of Kennedy Angel Gowns. And then that's when I saw on a TV feed where you guys did, I think it was the very first dedication to one of the Centera hospitals. So Naval Medical Center Portsmouth didn't have that at that time. And so it wasn't even an option. I mean, it would have meant everything because of course my husband had to travel from the ship all the way, which was down past Cuba, all the way back to Norfolk. And of course, Sophia, I had already let her go. And we could have put her in there and preserved her for his arrival, which was later that day, had we had that. But we didn't have that. So I wish we had.
I know.
Yeah.
What would a cuddle cot, a donation of a cuddle cot mean to a family? In your own words, how would you describe the importance?
So the importance is the preservation of the baby. And I say that because as every moment goes by, when they're in that state of not their normal breathing, whatnot, they change. And it happens fast. It happens very fast. Their color, their just everything changes. And it's still them, but it's not. So for example, the baby that my husband saw is not the baby that I saw. She looked different, of course, because time had elapsed.
Right.
If there was a cuddle cot,
progression.
Right, it would have preserved her. Right.
Yeah.
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 So it means everything. It means everything for your family, because I had to have time for my family to get there and whatnot, because none of them are here, nor is my husband's family. I mean, it just changes the whole. If anything could change anything, it would be that, and the preservation of the way the baby looks.
And that would have made all the difference, especially if you're a military family. So things were different for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cause I never, like I said, I thought I have this one little baby. That's going to be it. I'm just going to strap it on and keep moving. Never did I think I'm going to have two and they're going to pass away. And my husband's going to have to come back from deployment. And it was only 2 days into the deployment and he never went back. And that was a 7-month deployment. He just stayed here with me after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know that you do a lot of work with the March of Dimes.
Oh yeah.
Are you one of there's a title to are you one of like the ambassador families for March of Dimes?
We are. We were the 2018 Suffolk ambassador family. Our team is Sojo 24. Yep.
So through your work with March of Dimes, do you often get called brave?
I do, but I don't really see it at that, quite like that. I mean, I'm sure there's an aspect of it that is, but I feel like everyone just deals so differently. It's your own path. You don't ever really know until you're in it how you're going to feel or what you're going to do. Because the things that you'll say at first, I won't, you just might. Right. You don't ever know until you start. I mean, and of course, men and women, because it affects everyone. Men and women are very different in their feelings and the way they handle things. And, I think that over time, me doing what I've done, I've been able to link up with a lot of people because, of course, infant death is a very hush, quiet type thing because a lot of emotion is involved in it and feeling. And a lot of people just aren't comfortable talking about it or dealing with it. Right. I mean, it wasn't always as easy as it is right now for me to talk about it. But I mean, I have my days. I mean, I will always have my days. I have this area that's behind me that's in memory of them. We have an area outside where we have their actual stone. And then we have areas in our living rooms on our shelves with all of our other children as well. And I mean, a year and a day later, after I had them, I had another baby. I had my rainbow baby. So, and it just, I mean, wouldn't give her up for anything. Totally, totally belated. She is everything that we ever wanted. But I know that in my time of grief and me going through it, for some reason, and silly me, thought that if I was to turn right around and have another baby, that would somehow take away from what I had experienced. But that's not true. Nothing could ever change what happened. And I mean, even every holiday, we still put out stuff for them, just as if they, in memory of them. Easter, we still do everything. I always will. There'll never be a time I don't. Yeah. So like I said, is it brave? I mean, it could be a type of brave, but it's just a choice. It's just the way I want to handle it and never have them, because that was my daughter's number 7. So they were 6 and 5 for my husband and they were only 1 and 2 for me. So yeah, because I have stepkids too. So it really, the only way I can really explain it is it's just like my lungs were full of air and then the air was just completely removed for a minute. And everything went into focus on importance of life and how precious it is and how fast it can be gone. So
that is, and I can, like, I got chills when you said that. That is it. Literally,
it just happened so fast,
Yeah.
But even all the pain I endured, I mean, nothing could have ever prepared me for that. Nothing. Even if they'd have been like, hey, there's a chance, this, that, whatever, which we did all the testing, everything was fine. I mean, we just saw them on that Friday. I still wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You can't prepare your heart for that.
Oh, no. And it goes on and on. So you just, over time, like, I can't believe this is our 4th year. I mean, they would have, been 4 in January. So it just blows my mind. It's like, wow, time is going so fast. Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how are you coping with your grief during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, at first I thought I was a superhero and I could stay in my house. And when I mean that, I don't mean go to the store, but I thought I could I'm a very active outdoors person.
Mhm.
So I was trying just to stay in the house and take care of my daughter and my stepkids. But then I realized I have to have the outside. Like I literally have to get outside and be in movement and feel the air, even if it's cool or whatnot. So my outlet is getting outside and
Yes.
walking in my neighborhood or going out in my backyard, or I'm doing my flower beds now. That's kind of my outlet.
Yeah.
That's my outlet.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you, I guess, how are you managing your grief during this pandemic? Are you just using those outlets to kind of pass the time?
Yeah, well, it's kind of strange because the littlest thing can kind of trigger it. And when I think I'm going to be emotional about it, I'm not. But here's an example.
Mhm.
So a couple of days ago, somebody put a really, really funny, like laugh yourself to tears type of joke on something I read. And I was laughing so hard I was crying. But by the time
Mhm.
I realized I was crying, I was like, maybe I just need to cry. Like maybe I could just, even though it was a happy into a cry, I could just let it go. So I just
Maybe I
let it
need,
go.
right.
Maybe
Yeah,
I do
that's,
need to, because it can get very, everyday
yeah.
life, and then grief is a very, and then there was a point where
Yeah,
I
it
take,
comes and goes. Yeah.
your emotions, right. It's an emotional thing, and you don't ever know from day to day. I mean, everyone's human. You don't know how you're really going to feel, and
It-
I take medicine, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because after what
Mhm.
happened with the girls, my mind
Yeah.
it was like this when I needed it to be
Mhm.
like this. And
Yeah.
I got brave at the beginning of this COVID-19 and thought, I don't need my medicine. I got this. No, not so much. So I had
Mhm.
stopped for a
Yes,
second, and then I went right back on it.
you have a lot of memories and tributes around your home and on the outside of your home, and you do a lot of different walks. How
Yep.
do people respond when they come to your house to all of your memory items? What's the reaction?
Um, well, of course, they're always very quiet when I talk about it or they see it. And if I see them see it, then of course I'm going to explain to them whatnot. But it's something that I'm very comfortable sharing with, because I want people to know who they were and how important they were and how wanted they were,
Mhm.
and how special they were to my husband and I.
Yeah.
I want that. So I don't want to, when I tell them, I don't leave out any detail whatsoever. And most 9 out of 10 people will be in tears, but it's
Right.
not, like I told them, it affects everyone differently. But this is our home, and this is where this is where they were going to be, and they are. I mean, their ashes are here. Their cube is in there, sitting on the shelf with all their other stuff that we have. And my daughter, she's 2, and she's old enough to start to understand, what's going on. And so I talk to her and show her all this stuff behind me, like the music boxes. I wind them up. I let her, So I mean, everyone kind of, they notice it. And even grief is another interesting thing about grief is that friends that I've had for 20 years after this happened, that know me better than, other people, were just scared. They were just
Yeah.
so scared. It's like they didn't know me anymore, and they didn't know what to say or do.
Yep.
And I asked them, I said, I don't want you to treat me any differently than
Mhm.
before. Don't treat me any
Right.
differently, because when you do, it does make me feel different. I
It
don't want to
does.
be any different. It's still me. It's just me dealing in a different way. And
Right.
what was important to me before is just not as important as I thought it was.
Mhm. It changes you forever.
It does. It does. You become part of a family and a group that you will never know about until it is you.
That club nobody wants to enter.
Oh yeah, but it's a great club. It is. I
It
have
is.
so many awesome people that
I
I've
love you
met that
guys.
I
Yes.
keep up with, and and I love to go to the walks and see them.
Mhm.
And every year we do the t-shirts, and we're just, which this year is a little damper
Yep.
on it because it's kind of a virtual thing, but I'm getting ready to bring my next t-shirt out and start my online. And then hopefully once all this calms down and people can come back around each other, I'm going to throw my own gathering.
Yeah.
And everybody will put their shirts on, and we'll all come together, and still, we just won't be in 3 locations at the actual March of Dimes. We'll just do our own thing this year. So
Well, you let us know how we can support you too.
Of
We'd love to
course. Of course. We would love to have you
and,
guys there.
and support
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you want to add to share with the audience before we end?
I think for me, it's just don't be afraid. I know it seems very easy to say that. It seems very easy to say, hey, don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to, live the memory of your angel babies. Don't be afraid.
That's right.
I feel like mine are with me all the time. I know they are. I know they are. I more than know they are. I see them every day in my daughter. And that's why I'm really, really glad that I trucked on through and 4 months later got pregnant again. Because it really, it's just such a special, life is so precious. Like, take every day in, don't take it for granted. And if something does happen to someone that where they have infant loss or whatnot, just, don't treat them any different. Just be that ear for them to, to hear.
Yeah.
Just a very, it's a very hard time. Like I said, everyone deals differently, but the day I came home from the hospital, I had everyone at my house.
The support matters.
And my mom, even my own mom was like, I can't believe all these people are here and that you're okay with it. And I'm like, but you don't understand. Like, for me, it's going to be a celebration of their life, because they will never know who they were if they weren't here, because they never get to see them.
It's a time you feel lonely. So having those people around is like, you don't feel so isolated.
Right. Yeah.
So we're trying, and as you know, our mission is to get cuddle cots in every hospital. For some last words, why would you encourage someone to donate towards a cuddle cot?
Oh, you definitely need to donate towards the cuddle cot, because in that moment that baby becomes an angel baby, that they need to be placed in that cuddle cot and preserved, so that the family has the provided amount of time to, do what they want with their angel baby. Because like I said, it's so fast. The baby changes so quickly.
Yeah.
I said, I would have given anything if we could have been able to preserve her, Sophia, just long enough for my husband to get there and my family. Yeah. So it's just it's very important.
Thank you so much for sharing today.
Of course.
And we will always lift your two angels up and continue to support you just as well as you support us. So thank you.
I will be supporting Kennedy Angel Gowns.
Thank you, Stacie.
Thanks. Bye.